What's up guys, my name is Arina and welcome back to my channel where I review everything tech. It's been about a month since I got my iPhone SE. I've already done some fun tests with this iPhone and I'll show you some of them in this video where I'm gonna share my experience with this phone. I hope this video will be helpful and let's get started. Let's quickly get back to that unboxing moment. So I got my iPhone SE in the white color, I got it straight from Apple and it cost me $399 before tax. You probably already know that the design of the iPhone SE looks pretty much similar to the iPhone 8. And yes, it really does. They're absolutely the same in terms of size and weight, so you could easily use a case for the iPhone 8 on your new iPhone SE, since it will be compatible. But keep in mind, if you're getting a case with an Apple logo cut out, don't be surprised when you don't achieve the look you've expected, since the Apple logo on the iPhone SE moved to the center, just like on the whole 2019 iPhone lineup. So when I just got this phone, I quickly ordered the first case that caught my eye, which fits perfectly by the way, but speaking of the logo cut out, for some reason I didn't even think about it. So yeah, it kinda looks funny, don't make the same mistake. We have a 4.7-inch LCD display on the iPhone SE. I've already mentioned in my unboxing video that this display is pretty bright, even though it's dimmer than the OLED display of the iPhone 11 Pro. However, so far I've never had to keep the max brightness on the iPhone SE indoors. I usually have it at about 70 to 80% and it feels perfect for me. And when I'm outdoors, I always use the max brightness on all of my phones, especially if I take photos. It's needless to say that the viewing experience outdoors is always worse than indoors, especially on a bright sunny day, but this phone is definitely above the average in terms of brightness. When it comes to display features on the iPhone SE, of course, we get the True Tone for accurate viewing experience, the night shift that makes colors on the display look much warmer and hence more comfortable for your eyes, and the dark mode that turns the white background into black, and I actually prefer to keep the dark mode on most of the time. We have quite thick top and bottom bezels on the iPhone SE. Of course, it's especially noticeable if you got used to the newer iPhone models with slimmer bezels and a notch. However, if you're coming from much older iPhone models with pretty much similar bezels, then this is obviously not going to be a problem for you. One of my favorite things about the iPhone SE is the home button. Honestly, I haven't used it for a while because now most of the phones come with the face unlock, but it really feels good. It's so easy, it's fast and convenient. Also, that haptic feeling makes using the home button even more satisfying. By the way, keep in mind there is no 3D touch on the iPhone SE. Instead, you get the haptic touch just like on the latest 2019 iPhone lineup. When it comes to security features, you get a Touch ID implemented in the home button just like on the older iPhone models. If your fingers are dry, it works 10 times out of 10. I've never had any problems with the Touch ID on this device. It's very reliable. But keep in mind that there is no Face ID on this device. Now let's talk about the camera of this phone. We have a single 12-megapixel camera with an aperture of 1.8 and also a 7-megapixel front-facing camera with an aperture of 2.2. I already have a very comprehensive camera comparison video on my channel featuring the iPhone SE, XR and 11 Pro Max. Check it out if you haven't already. I don't want to waste your time showing you pictures and videos here, but instead, let's open the camera app on the iPhone SE and compare it against the most expensive iPhone at the moment, the 11 Pro Max, just to see what you might miss if you go for the iPhone SE. As you can see, we have the same modes here: time-lapse, slow-mo, video, photo, portrait, and pano. One of the main differences is that you have quick access to the 2x zoom and the ultra-wide camera on the 11 Pro Max, while you have to pinch to zoom or use the slider on the iPhone SE. Also, as you can see here, the 11 Pro Max is ready to use its automatic night mode, while the SE doesn't have one. When it comes to video, you can easily change the resolution and frames per second right in the camera app on both of these iPhones, which is really helpful. I love this option. In the portrait mode, you can manually change the depth of the portrait on both iPhones, but the main difference here is that the iPhone SE uses its only main camera to take portraits, while the 11 Pro Max by default uses its telephoto camera with 2x zoom, and also you can manually switch to the main camera with no zoom, just like on the iPhone SE. Overall, I have to admit that the camera on the iPhone SE is actually really good. Moreover, I wouldn't say that there is a dramatic difference between the iPhone SE and the 11 Pro Max when it comes to daylight photos and videos. But let's face it, the 11 Pro Max has a lot of advantages, like the ability to take better quality zoomed photos with its telephoto camera, amazing wide-angle shots with its ultra-wide camera, and of course, let's not forget the night mode. But at the end of the day, of course, it comes down to whether or not you need all of these features. Now let's talk about the battery of this phone. The iPhone SE supports wireless charging, but when it comes to a more traditional way of charging, this phone is fast charge capable, so you could use not only this measly 5-watt adapter that comes in the box, but also an 18-watt adapter or higher, which are unfortunately sold separately. In my unboxing video, I did a charging test and I used an 18-watt adapter, but I think it would be fair to charge the iPhone SE with the adapter you get in the box. So let's unpack this 5-watt adapter. To make it more fun, let's compare these two charging tests and see the progress side by side. So in 30 minutes we got 57% from the 18-watt adapter and 29% from the 5-watt adapter. In 1 hour, the 18-watt adapter gives us 86%, while the 5-watt adapter gives us 57%. And finally, it took about 1 hour and 46 minutes to fully charge the iPhone SE with the 18-watt adapter. So in 2 hours, we still have 96%. And finally, it takes about 2 hours and 22 minutes to fully charge the iPhone SE with a 5-watt adapter. When it comes to battery life, this phone lasts me through the day with moderate use, but if you'll go harder on it, it probably won't. So I cannot say the battery life is outstanding on the iPhone SE, which was expected since we get a quite small battery on this device. Now let's talk about the speakers of the iPhone SE. We have stereo speakers here, they're quite loud, and when it comes to the sound quality, it's also pretty good. Yes, the sound on the iPhone SE is not as powerful as, say, on the 11 Pro Max, but taking into account how much smaller this phone is when compared to the 11 Pro Max, I would say this little guy does a really good job. One of the best things about this phone is that you get the latest A13 chip, just like on the latest 2019 iPhone lineup. As Apple said, they put the brains of the iPhone 11 Pro into iPhone SE. Well, of course, I cannot say you get the exact same experience on the iPhone SE like you would on the 11 Pro. I mean, the iPhone SE is still missing some of my favorite features like double tap, the night mode on the camera, etc. But when it comes to how fast this phone is and its overall performance, I honestly couldn't detect any flaws or shortcomings of the iPhone SE when compared to my 11 Pro Max. If you ask me, I have quite mixed feelings about this phone. On the one hand, I like the size of the iPhone SE. It's so compact, it's really easy to hold and operate with just one hand. Also, it's super lightweight. But on the other hand, when I use this phone on a daily basis, I always feel like I have to strain my eyes because everything looks very small on this display. Using this phone, I often feel like it's all about the compromises. So if I set the display settings to zoomed view and make the font size larger, it feels better. But then some of the words get cut off and sometimes it really gets confusing since you can't see the whole information. For example, here in the Bluetooth section where you cannot see the full name of the device until you tap it to connect and then you realize that was the wrong one. But I guess this is something that comes down to personal preferences. I'm a fan of big screens, but you may not be. However, once again taking into account the price point of the iPhone SE, the great camera you get on this phone, and the latest fast chip, I say, why not? I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Let me know your opinion about this phone. I'm really curious if you're gonna get the iPhone SE, which phone you're upgrading from. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you in the next one.